Hey, you need some R&R. You need some R&R. You need some R&R. You need some R&R.
Radio, RaNdOmNeSs. Radio, RaNdOmNeSs. I love that.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. It's our first show together. Radio and RaNdOmNeSs. What's up, TheRaveWave?
What's up, 512 Mark DD? Are you ready for this?
I am ready. I'm a little nervous, honestly.
Me too. Okay.
Even though it's not like we're live or anything. It's like I'm just anxious excitement.
It's exciting. I mean, it's basically the crack of dawn, so that makes it. This is the first thing we're doing today. How did it feel? How did it feel this week, leading up to it? Like, I mean, you've been doing this for a couple weeks now, but like now that I'm on board, how did it feel? Were you excited? Were you like, we're doing this? Like, because I know you were, reaching out to me. I mean, we were texting. I was telling my friends yesterday, I text you the most now. So.
It feels.
Like, is Mark's wife like?
It's like a brand new show. It's like now the only thing that's the same is the name. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it's the kind of the whole idea that I had in the beginning is there. It just what I was trying to do by myself, I couldn't do by myself. Mm-hmm. So it feels like rejuvenating that this is what I had in mind. Okay. I just needed a perfect partner.
Hey, that's me?
That's here we go.
Okay. Well, I'm super excited. I think we want to give a shout out to Jenny. She was our first supporter, and we're very, very grateful. Anyone who decides to support us in our dream and our vision, I mean, you're deep in our hearts.
Yeah.
Because
she's a
supporter they can watch this for free.
Supporter on Anchor FM, right? There's multiple ways.
Yeah.
We got merch. What up?
We have merch. Yes, mine should be here. I think it's in September, like the first week of September or something.
The earliest mine will get here is Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So hopefully by next episode.
Yeah. I'm excited. We've been doing a lot this week, kind of to the point where it's like, what else is there to do in the day besides talk about this?
Yeah, it's been it'll be weird. I was thinking about this yesterday. It'll be weird, like, why we work on other episodes that, I mean, we probably will here and there, but we've been doing so much work on, like, the theme and logos and cover photos and stuff like that we don't have all that to do in between episodes now. Or at least as much, so it's going to be kind of weird that I'm going to feel like I should be doing something other than just working on the episode.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, this is really all I have to do. So I work at Taco Bell like 3 days a week. Besides that, this is my life.
You don't have your other gig anymore?
Oh. This is my other gig. This is the gig. The other gig is the other gig.
This is my third gig now. I have 3 going on, so
you're always
working.
Hands in all the pots.
That's my screen on my phone. My body wants more sleep, but my pockets want more money.
Oh, I like that.
But that's more about like just having multiple things going on. Like each job that I have is everything that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I like to stay busy though. This one, now those other 2 jobs are to support this one.
Right? It's exciting to have like something, like start something fresh. I think.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I don't know. You used to do vlogs. So like the YouTube world. I used to do YouTube like skits and stuff, and I have a completely different feeling with this. Like this is more, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like. So what's today's topic?
Let's
Tell
get
the
into
people.
it. Our first today we're going to discuss Baby Driver, the movie and the soundtrack.
And the soundtrack,
And what else
which is,
I want to talk about?
yeah.
So what?
The soundtrack's pretty good. The movie's pretty good. But what is your starting point? I guess.
So
What do you got to say?
when you're, as far as movie goes and soundtracks, are you more of a soundtrack person or a movie?
I'm more of a, if there's a song in the movie I like, I will listen to it to the end of the earth kind of person. The soundtrack is like, but if there's one song that I feel, I will listen to it for the rest of my life. Like Twilight. I literally listen to Twilight music. I literally listen to Twilight music in my car. I'm just driving and I'm just like, you know. So I'm just one of those people. I love music. I'd say my taste in music is, I kind of think, wow, if there was an independent indie film about my life, would this song be in it? Like, in this scene, would this song be playing? And that's kind of what I do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more
I
of
feel
a
like
person. I enjoy the movie. I love movies, but I'm always listening to what song. Does the song that they're playing fit the scene and all that kind of stuff?
yeah.
But and speaking
I
of
guess
that
in that
point,
I guess in that point, I would be more of a movie person then, because I really do like movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I tend to lean on the music side.
Yeah. Would you say, are you one of those people that like finds a movie that they like and then just watches it over and over and over and over and over till it's dead?
I have movies like that. That like I would have not so much anymore, but the movies that I was in the mood for if I was sick. Or for a long time back in the day, the 40-Year-Old Virgin was like my hangover movie. When I woke up the next day, I would watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin, and part of it was because it was such a good movie. But I knew it so well that I didn't have to I could just veg out on the TV, nursing a hangover and just enjoying the comedy. So movies like that, yeah, there are movies that I'll watch over and over for that reason. If I'm sad or depressed, there's a movie that I know is going to make me feel better. Movies like that, I'll get in the mood for. So yeah, definitely.
I feel like that about The Grinch. Like, I could watch The Grinch, the one with Jim Carrey, of course, not the cartoon. I could watch it 1,000 times and never get tired of it, you know? That's one of the few movies. My sister will see, like, a Disney movie and watch it till it's bleeding in your ears, you know?
Oh, see, I have kids, so that already happens to me. But, I don't know. Yeah, what, did you have, you know what? The first thing I'm going to start off with one of my favorite parts of the movie, and they showed it in the trailer, because when my sister mentioned the movie to me that, hey, have you seen Baby Driver? She knows I'm a soundtrack person, so she's like, you'll love the movie, you'll love the soundtrack. And so I was like, no, honestly, I'd never even heard of it. So I looked it up and watched the trailer, and the part in the trailer, and it still made me laugh in the movie, was the Halloween mask part. Where he's like, this is the Halloween mask. And like, no, this is Mike Myers. That was just comedy gold for me. I was like, I love that part.
That is pretty funny. I honestly, when I was younger, I used to get it confused when they would talk about Mike Myers. Like, what's the movie he was in? Austin Powers or something?
The actor Mike Myers, yeah, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He's known for, he was also Wayne in Wayne's World and
yeah,
a lot of 90s stuff.
See, like, I feel like you're gonna have to educate me on all that old school stuff because I've never seen it. Like, I haven't been like, let me watch, you know, because like I see the things, but
Fear No More. There's a list of movies that I'm sure you've never seen that we will get to down the line.
I have a list for you too. So.
And speaking of old school and new school, there was the only detail in watching the movie that bugged the crap out of me was when it flashes back to the past and they make it seem like 70s, 80s, somewhere in that time frame, he's still got an iPod, and the earbuds. I'm like, those didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
I get the connection, but it's like that's just a time frame detail that doesn't match.
Yeah, because he's like, what, 20, 21?
Yeah.
Max 23. But I think the reason that it was able to be done like that is because this isn't a big town. I don't know if you've been to the Midwest recently, but they're still, like, I went a couple months ago, and it's still, like, the 90s there, the 80s. Like, it's retro. They have retro Taco Bells, and it's not retro to them. That's just what it is. Like, I feel like if they came down here or maybe to, like, a bigger city, they'd be like, that's really modernized.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about was, too, sometimes directors they'll know that the consistency is kind of off, but for the sake of the movie and everything, or the storyline, they don't care. Even Steven Spielberg has done it in movies. Yeah. There's things you can catch in Jurassic Park that don't match up, and he was like, I don't care. And people were like, let's see.
I've actually never seen Jurassic Park.
Oh my God.
Like, but actually, this weekend I watched Total Recall, like the OG version. I only watched the end, but I was like, this is kind of good. I mean, obviously the effects and everything is like kind of like if they, I think they have a remake of that also, but it's pretty good. I was surprised.
Cool.
I don't really watch old stuff, you know.
Oh, you will now.
But I know I was gonna say that.
I guess
I really feel like you're gonna be
stuff too, right?
That's what I'm saying. You better be prepared to watch Twilight in its entirety because that is my goal for you.
You know what was done really well on this one too, though? They picked you. Speaking of his age, they picked the perfect actor and actress. Like the baby and Deborah made the movie for me. Without that,
yeah.
They picked the perfect.
They were super cute. Like. They're super cute.
Well, they're really well together. I mean, even character-wise and actor-wise, but, like, the way what's his name? Angel Elgort.
Ansel Elgort, I think. Ansel.
He was the perfect for that with the way he moved and danced to the music and the way the detail that they used with the music and the songs that played and that were like detailed with the actions in the movie were perfect. Not when it was even just him. I mean, there was one scene where they're counting the money and with the beat, if you're paying attention, he's putting down the stacks of money with the beat of the song. Like every detail with the songs that they used in that movie, which were perfectly chosen, they choreographed it with the detail of the movie just perfectly down to the motions that the actors were doing. I was like, I've never seen a movie done that way.
Yeah. Which is why when I've actually seen this movie multiple times, and it's why it's one of those movies that you can watch more than once, even though you know what's going to happen at the end, which is, you know, pretty good. He, in general, is a pretty good actor. I kind of discovered him back in the day, maybe 2015, like around when I graduated high school, because he was in all of the, like, books. Like, they were converting a bunch of books to movies. Divergent, The Fault in Our Stars, and The Fault in Our Stars was like a cancer movie. Like these two cancer patients fall in love, but like I'm used to him. So this is a different kind of movie for him. I think he's used to either like hardcore action or romance, sad story, and this is kind of the middle, you know?
Yeah. You made me think of something that. You just made me think of something with your point, and now it just left my mind. Okay. Well, maybe it'll come back. I didn't realize either one of them. I looked them up. That Angel Elgort and Lily James, both those characters, the actors that played them, and I didn't realize like she had been in so much stuff.
Right? I know. I actually just pulled up her what's it called, headshot, and I was looking. Let's see what she's been in.
What was I? Oh yeah, we mentioned before we started recording the first 6 minutes were the best part. I saw when I started looking up the movie, there was a comment on bell bottoms where the person had said if she could have left the theater after the 6 minutes and been happy with the money she spent, and I was that way.
Yeah.
With only $4, I bought it on. I didn't buy it. I rented it on YouTube for $5.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah. She was actually in one of the Mamma Mias.
Yes,
So
I saw
she
that.
must have some kind of vocal expertise.
Well,
I guess
she's from England too. It's like I would never guess that because her accent, is impeccable in Baby Driver. So I would have never guessed she's actually British.
She's significantly older than him too.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You mentioned you knew how it was gonna end. So that was one thing about the movie. It was the first 6 minutes. My expectations were set based on that comment that I had read on YouTube, and I mean it lived up to it. I felt the same way that girl did after the first 6 minutes. I was like, okay, that was awesome, And the movie never went lower than that. But it never went back up. The rest of the movie, it was a great movie, bunch of comic relief in there, but for an action movie, it was kind of your typical the love story and the action, and you kind of knew how more likely it was going to end, but it was still so good.
It was
somewhere it was listed as a comedy love action movie. Like I would have put maybe love action, but.
Love action. I think my favorite part of the movie, or one of the things that I really love, is that his blind, foster dad. He knows something's up. And when he's lifting up the wood plank and there's money under there, and he's like, that was also kind of one of the saddest parts too, when he had to leave him.
Yeah. But he was still he was still understood, he was still good about it.
Yeah. It was just, it's kind of sad. That's the part where I shed a gangster tear. I was like,
I don't know, I'm worried. I kind of want to say one part that did surprise me when I thought it was, gonna be kind of average. And the ending did kind of surprise me, but I mean, it's been 3 years. I still don't want to do a spoiler alert in case somebody.
I know. We don't have to say the ending. We can allude.
It did I guess specifically the way it ended, and you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't see coming. I thought it was going to be almost. I mean, it was still kind of happily ever after, but I thought it was going to be a little bit different done. But
maybe it's because I'm kind of I don't want to say cynic. But I kind of wanted them all to die. I'm because otherwise you're just going to be on the run your whole life, Maybe you should just die, Leave it. Leave it at that, I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. But I was sure they were going to die, and I was okay with it. Like I said, that old man at the nursing home was the saddest part for me. So that shows you what catches my heartstrings. But I think there's a part where the main the boss guy with the glasses that looks like a banker, I can't remember his name.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, him. Where he was he's not a retard or something. At the very beginning, after their first thing with the sunglasses, it's he's not a retard. And then it's funny that he was defending him, but that's also the thing that gets him in trouble later on when they find, all the tapes and everything.
Yeah.
Because when I heard that line, when I heard him say it again, it reminded. I'm like, I've heard that before, and not just obviously I've seen the movie multiple times, but that was a big line in the movie. It was said multiple times. That's another interesting thing. His little mixtapes that he makes.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I was surprised there wasn't more of those on the soundtrack, and they could have probably even done a whole separate. there's a separate album for just the score. There's a separate soundtrack for the score. But they could probably even done a second volume of just all his mixes that he made.
Yeah, they should have, honestly.
But yeah, I like the way the flashbacks and the story that they were telling of why he was the way he was. They used the flashbacks to kind of explain that story. Plus, what Kevin Spacey's character kind of mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of sprinkle in through things like Kevin Spacey says and other things how because he has like two backstories, how he ended up the way he was with the music, but also how did he end up in group, being the driver for the group.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of that storyline sprinkled in to the plot, so they never have to flash back for any of that. It just kind of explained within the movie how he ended up being the driver.
A thing I like about this movie is that obviously they're all villains, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the villains you love or the villains you like, which is the girl and her guy. I literally can't remember their name. The Spanish girl. But then there's Jamie Foxx, and it's just like, why are you like that? Like, you just don't. And Jamie Foxx is a likable guy. But it's like, why are you like that?
Yeah, he was.
What is wrong with you?
He was so good at it. I do like when he was like trying to like take over and call the shots, and and Kevin Spacey kind of called him out and like said use his real name and all kinds of stuff that like Kevin Spacey's like, I know everything. Like don't even try me.
I don't know who you think you are, but I know who you are. So
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting type of thing.
Did you see it when it came out?
I did. I actually saw it in the movie theater.
Oh, see, I had never even heard of it. I don't know where I was in 2017. I don't remember the previews.
Yeah, that was probably your dealership years when you were on the floor. Those are hectic times.
Oh yeah, I think it was actually.
How was that?
What? Being
being on the floor. Did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it and I was good at it. The downside to it is the amount of time it takes to do that job.
Yeah.
It's like you end up. They try to make it to where you can work at like early shift and get off at a decent hour, and then other days where you come in midday and work. But if you really want to be good at it and get clients and sell cars or whatever it is you're selling, you pretty much have to be available all the time. And then when you have a day off and you're off, you're getting text messages from people that you're trying to make sales for. And it's like a 24-hour gig. Same thing as real estate. It turns into a 24-hour gig, and so you have to
balance it.
Yeah, with kids, and I started missing stuff. At the time my son was, I think, in 5th grade. And I was missing like school functions. I started missing,
Is he in high school now?
He's in 8th grade this year.
8th grade.
Yeah, he's in 8th grade. He's 13 in 8th grade. And then LD will start pre-K next year.
How does that make you feel? Old?
Well, I mean, Jesse at the BDC. He would always say that, and I always think about his statement because nothing is truer about. Nothing will make time just fly by for you other than having kids, because it's like every day it's like they're doing something else, and they're like I look at Mel and she's talking and walking. She's got this little attitude, and this character that And it's like, man, it seems like yesterday you were like this big, like I could hold it in my hand, and now you.
I know. Last week when we were doing the test run, and I saw her, I was like, I haven't seen her since back in the day when you tried to send me the picture when you guilted me into giving away my stuffed animals.
Yeah.
I had these stuffed like Disney characters that one of our coworkers gave me. I don't know. Somehow they came into my possession, and it was when I first met Mark, and he's like, "I have a little daughter. She would love those."
Yeah, that was.
And in my head, I'm like, "Okay," and he's
a
like,
few days
"Look at
to.
this." Yeah, he's like, "Look at this picture."
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Oh, well, I told her about them, and she's really excited." And I'm like, "I told you, I want them. I'm not giving them."
Yeah.
But I mean, you broke me down. I used to be weird about kids. I used to be really weird about kids. But
Really?
yeah, they creep me out. Not anymore, but I mean, they used to. Like, I don't know why. I really don't. I'm just like, eh.
I still find myself in this way almost every day. It's like I don't. It's funny because when I was a kid, it's just like looking up to my dad and my mom or whatever, that you just kind of, they know they just know everything, and they're there for everything. It's like when I had kids, it's like I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but it's like they don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know that. I mean, my son's a teenager now, so he thinks he knows everything now. But when he was a kid, he didn't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Melody's like, I'll say whatever, and she's like, she has no idea. I'm just making up as I go along. Like, that's the only thing that would freak me out about kids, or freak me out about being a father. But you just kind of make it up as you go.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my friends are having kids now, so I kind of got over that. Because I mean, you gotta love your family and your people, like the people around you. You gotta love their kids. Otherwise, it's like, okay, I'll never see you again until that kid is gone.
Yeah.
So
And
then I'm like,
that's kind of the truth, because you just get busy between everything else, that you don't get to socialize like you used to. And if you do, it's with other people that have kids.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And sometimes they're boring. Like I've noticed that sometimes when people have kids, they just turn boring. Like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, that's literally how to explain it. Like there's like the parents that are very hype and like still having fun and this and that while still being good parents, and then there's the parents that are like, well, I have to go to ukulele practice in the morning, so I can't be up past 8:30 p.m. And I'm just like,
right.
8:30.
Speaking of which, I think I hear her. You ready for a quick break? Come back.
I'm ready for a break. Let's
All right.
get.
Hang on, everybody. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
All right.